did not come to play, I came to dominate. Dominate, dominate. I did not come to play, I came to dominate. Dominate, dominate. I did not come to play, I came to dominate. Dominate, dominate. I did not come to play, I came to dominate. Dominate, 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 dominate. I did not come to play, I came to dominate. Dominate, dominate. Please don't ever fix your mouth to try to diss them. I can rearrange your teeth like novice dentists. Snap like Thanos, turn to dust my competition. But I preach non-violence, so I just dismiss them. Ocean all my flows, I wear all my gold. Two can't sell my chain, you just follow your nose. Cross your like Kyrie, I'm so grimy, leave slimy. Besides none of my foes, next to greatness, they look tiny. Ooh, yeah, ayy. All y'all look like steak. Ooh, yeah, ayy. I'm finna finish my plate. This ain't even a game, it's a dinner date. Curse my competition, watch me dominate. I did not come to play, I came to dominate. Dominate, dominate. I did not come to play, I came to dominate. Dominate, dominate. I did not come to play, I came to dominate. Dominate, dominate. I did not come to play, I came to dominate. Dominate, 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 dominate. I did not come to play, I came to dominate. Dominate, dominate.
Fresher than some Altoids or Mentos, I've been froze. Better with the alloy, I mean metal, I spit those. Let her see a bad boy, she slick, oh, I spin those. A feather.
What is up, Rebels? What do they say on Friday? Happy Friday? Is that what it is? How y'all doing? Thanks for joining me for this session on the Rebel live stream living live. I think that's the way to announce these things. Yeah, I'm super awkward, as you all know. Yesterday was awesome. We had the launch party for the Refuge, sold out virtually, had a ton of people over at the Rebel HQ, aka my house, which was a fun surprise for everybody. I'm not sure anybody had any idea where we were doing the in-person party, but I take refuge in this home. And to give you a little story about that, this home is actually where I was born and raised. And when my father passed away in 2016 from his battle with cancer, I bought this house to keep it in the family. And so our whole theme of launching Refuge was this identity of where do we take refuge? And it felt extremely appropriate to do everything at my house, because that, again, is where I take refuge. So I want to start real quickly before I get into sharing screens and showing off the platform to just talk a little bit about the idea and identity of what created and spurred on the Rebel Refuge. So as most of you know, I spent a lot of time selling copy machines, 14 miserable years. No, just kidding. I had a really enjoyable time in the copier industry. It was some of the best learning that I could have ever asked for. And for me, it was not just something that I wanted to do and liked doing. It was also something that was passed down to me through my father's actions and activities of being in the same scene. And so there was a legacy component tied to it, which drove me to be better every single day inside of the copier world. So technically, because of that, I had a direct line to training and mentorship through my dad. But as I got older and as I got my feet wet and started to get real deep into the identity of copier sales, and my father just being more of a mentor figure at that point to me, I started to take sales training. Some famous sales trainers or sales training companies in the area that I worked with, some amazing coaches such as Ed Jordan. I can't not shout out Eric Schulman as well too. I met Ed Jordan at a Titusville Chamber of Commerce luncheon, and he was just awesome. I fell in love with the guy. He told me that he did sales training, and of course I signed up. But one thing that I always found to ring true throughout my process of learning sales and getting deeper into sales was that as an individual contributor, unless you're the top player, it's not really affordable to just do sales training. It's also a lot of your time. The commitment is a lot of time. It doesn't necessarily integrate into your day. Instead, it's, you have to take a break from the things that you're doing to an extent. You have to go to typically a site and sit down at a desk with other people and do training that way. There's a lot of different options these days. Obviously, virtual is a great way to do it as well. But again, all these things that I have learned through the process. And, another side of it is that sales training is kind of boring, and it's kind of the same thing over and over again, repetitively. And really a lot of what is taught in sales training is the basics, which are great because we can't forget the basics. And we're going to talk about those even when I show you Refuge here in a couple minutes. But at the same time, too, the basics that are very traditional to what the sales training world would look at as successful habits. And we're rebels. So, we wanted to break the mold around a lot of those things and start to challenge people on a completely different level. So taking that into account, this identity of sales training kind of being stale and stagnant, a little bit boring at times, sales training being kind of expensive for an individual contributor to get into it. I sat back in 2017 and 18 and started to have kind of these visions of, well, what if we could create something for an individual seller that was accountability, that was training, but that was also community as well too. And now being a millennial and growing up in the gamer age, I also asked myself, how can we make learning more fun for individual sellers as well too? And a quick concept around gamification as well. And actually, Jeff Viegas, my business partner and co-founder of the Rebellion, the architect, Tim and I were just talking about this even before the launch, that gamification has been around for a long time. Matter of fact, the corporate world jumped into the gamification side of learning and teaching a long time ago. But like 80% of those organizations didn't do it right. They failed in the way that they were structuring this gamification model. And so everything just kind of went kaput in the process. It's kind of like QR codes. These have been around for a long time. And people that have been using them effectively, like in this live right now, have been thriving with them. And people that haven't been using them effectively don't even believe that they exist anymore. Oh, QR codes are a thing? Well, then COVID-19 happens and they're on every menu. They're at every window or door that you walk up to. And because the technology is super useful, people just haven't been using it in the right way. So coming back to the identity of what we wanted to create with Refuge was, again, something that was effective, that was fun, that also took a lot of the headache and heartache away in regards to what a seller commits to with their time, with their money, with their energy, and really give some people something affordable that if it's not for them, it's not for them. And there's kind of no harm, no foul because of the cost of a membership with us. And then at the same time, challenging a seller that even if it isn't for them, that we can try and hook them from the perspective of this is the way the Rebellion looks at sales. We believe in people over products, community over commission checks, fellowship over negotiations, providing experiences for our prospects instead of pitching them all the time. We believe in this identity of what the Rebellion stands for, which is hope back into the sales world. And in 2018, early 2019, as I started to exit the company that I was working at and kind of just literally making radical decisions as they came without much planning, I said to myself, what if we had an app or some kind of monthly subscription that people could log into that was very low cost, that they would be able to get training, that they would be able to build community, and that they would be able to become rebels in. Mind you, the rebels part probably wasn't in that vocabulary because I hadn't come up with the name of the company yet. It wasn't even a thought. However, this idea was. And so now it's 2021. It's July. We launched everything yesterday, July 1st. What a great day for us at the Sales Rebellion and just in general for everything that we've been working on. And I'm going to show you live what the system looks like. Just give me a second to share my screen here. Bada boom. All right. Let's do this. Look at Dale. Come on, Dale. You're doing so good right now. Everybody give Dale a round of applause. TSR dashboard. Here we go. Here's the share. Welcome to the Rebel Refuge. Right now, we're looking at the dashboard. My dream around this concept of a dashboard, too, was you kind of just give the normal perspective on something that a gamer would look at, something that a human being using social media would look at, something that would be familiar enough that wouldn't be too crazy, right, is the perspective here, but also intuitive from a learning perspective, just the same. So let's look at the dashboard. Over here on the left-hand side, we've got the HUD. And so right here, you've got the name of the rep or the individual that's inside of the program. Obviously, this is my login, my rank as well, too, that's shown right below it. And then also a little symbol, essentially, that is significant to where you are in your ranking inside of our system. So think Call of Duty or a video game like that rewards you with aesthetics, essentially. And then also points that convert to coins, and little icons down here that show you the most recent achievements that you've been unlocking. Cool little HUD is the concept here. Now, to the right of the HUD, you'll see some of the things that we can interact with inside of the system. Now, what we wanted to do here was make this fun, but also give exclusive content. So you'll see if I highlight this particular icon and click it, that over on the left-hand side, you'll watch my points and coins spark up to 16,000 of each. So 500 is rewarded for the activity. And then I also get a very unique piece of copy and content inside of the Rebel Refuge. Now, just to give you a little backstory and put some meaning behind what you're looking at here, these are actually derived, these little broadcasts are derived from a practice my dad had. Back in 2007, my dad used to take his devotional all 365 days. And what he would do is that for each new day, he would literally on his computer transcribe the content. So he would write out everything that was in that journal, that devotional. And then he would email it to me and my siblings and my mom. This actually became something that a lot of my dad's friends, maybe some that are watching today, actually ended up getting into as well too, where my dad, people would kind of tell the story, or my dad would tell the story, or one of the kids, and people would say, man, I'd love to be on that email. That sounds really encouraging. And so essentially what I've done is gone back to all 365 of those devotionals. I've rewritten them, obviously because I want to respect the original writer, but also too because we need them to be focused a little bit more on sales. But these are very spiritually driven. And I believe that this is the kind of mindset that we've left out of sales for far too long, and it's time for us to get back to it. So these are meant and created for you to come into at the start of your day and be encouraged by, and to change your perspective through, because rebels lead with hope. Over here, you'll see another little icon that if we click again over to the left in the HUD, you'll watch the points go up. And this is our sales soundtrack. So we actually have a new song every day, just like new copy every day for you to get in the mood with. Now, we believe that music is extremely powerful. And I think there's a lot of people on this planet in general that would agree with that. It can literally influence generations. And at the same time, we also believe that it can influence your sales walk, that it can positively or negatively affect it. And so we've used this psychology to an extent of understanding, what types of music will set a certain type of mood inside of us. So whether you dig the jams or not, the thought process here is that listen to it, because it is designed to put you in a particular mood, to enjoy and relax your day a little bit differently. And the music itself becomes an aesthetic in that moment. You'll see a live transmission station over here as well. I can actually access this at any point in time. So you'll constantly, being inside of Refuge, see new information thrown in here. I love the timestamps too, because I definitely wasn't awake at 1:35 a.m. and it's definitely not the year 3990. But when you develop really awesome stuff, sometimes certain things have to look, incomplete. So shout out to our developer though, by the way, the best in the freaking business, Patrick Lake. This is his baby. We have an internal team essentially, and we could not be more proud of Patrick and his work and what he's done for us. So down here, you'll see the final indicator and icon on the dashboard itself. I'm going to get down here and mute the sound as fast as I can for me, because I have it set up. We have it programmed to where, when you open up anything inside of our system, that it plays automatically and sound plays automatically. This is a clip from an interview that I did with Dewan a while back, but again, exclusive content, essentially through the Refuge. But what I will say is that what we have in here that I'm not unveiling right now to y'all, those who join will see it and listen to them, is we've developed something called the Rebel Unwind, which is the majority of the video content. It's very exclusive to this site, and it's the kind of content that nobody else is putting out. So over to the right, you'll see a couple of different things on the dashboard that kind of keep you up to date and abreast of what's going on inside of your journey in here. You'll see all the new Rebels that have joined. You'll also be able to, from a community perspective, see like who's in here, what they're doing, what they've gotten done. My boy Dale Zawinski chilling here. I see Kristen Lutz, Joel Stevens, somebody named User that didn't put their name in yet, Josh Tranium, Stephen Lettery. What's up, everybody? I hope y'all are having fun in the Refuge. Over here to the right, also, you'll see all of our social links for the company, so that if you want to, you're craving a little bit more content, essentially, you want to listen to the podcast, come in here and click a link. Shout out to whoever it was yesterday that asked me if we had access to the podcast in here. Here it is. So now let's jump to the next tab. So this is the challenges dash. This is probably my favorite. When it comes down to the identity of what we believe that we can help you accomplish in your sales walk, this is where it is right here. This is the world of the sales rebellion that we're about to reveal and look at together. Please excuse my crappy internet. Gotta love Bright House. Yeah, shout out to Bright House. Any Bright House reps on here, please call me, upgrade my internet. So this is the world of the sales rebellion. As you can see, there's a lot of artifacts in here and symbolism around what it is that the rebellion stands for, and also our process, our literal system that we have. So over here on this car is our roots concept, which is kind of the beginnings of your sales walk. And inside of the roots, you'll also see 50, and I know that every single one of these categories has 50 challenges in it. So it basically plays out a calendar year for each and every single one of you. So every day you can challenge yourself to something new. Now, you'll see that we ask you to do kind of non-traditional things, like write out a mission statement. By the way, raise your hand out there on LinkedIn Live or YouTube or Twitter or wherever you're watching. If you have a personal mission statement that you've developed for yourself inside of your sales walk, or if you even know the companies at that, I'd love to see your hand raised, because typically it's maybe one or two people in a room of 50. And this is something that's extremely important to our sales walk that we don't talk about enough. If we don't have purpose that we are driving every activity with, then what are we doing in the first place? So as you can see, you can scroll through these particular challenges as you hit the next button. And pick the one that you like and come down here and hit accept. Once you hit accept, it'll queue up that particular challenge and put it into your point system as you finish it. But you'll see here that it gives you a timestamp. Basically, we give you 1 day to get this done. And then you can let us know whether or not you did it, you need more time, you want to do something else once it expires. Now, I want to show y'all, unfortunately, last night I queued one of these up, and so we've got some time remaining. But I want to show y'all, and I want to give a big shout out to our boys and girls and friends over at the Vidyard Camp. We love you guys. We appreciate you being a part of the Refuge, especially the launch. They have sponsored this particular set of challenges. You will find 15 currently active that you can get from Vidyard. These are really high level, and then also very foundational on top of it. So you're going to get some in here that are going to be like, whoa, I've never thought of that. And you're going to get some in here that are going to be, man, I've been meaning to do that as well too. Or this is really good foundational work and challenges that I can get into. This one's the one that I have active currently right now. And again, as you can see, if you're operating inside of the Refuge, you can always come to the top of the page and just see specifically what you're working on between, your roots and your sponsored content. This one in particular being Vidyard. But then also I want to show y'all that you can come down here and you can try to get into the other challenge worlds, but they won't be unlocked until you complete a certain amount of challenges. So as you can see, the living pipeline, you need 34 more to get it open. David Weiss lives right here on the Rebel Moon with the Rebel Invasion. You'll need 89 challenges before you can unlock him. Our social presence concept. This is an ode to my best friend, Zach Fortune, aka Social, and all the concepts that made him just an amazing human being while he was on this earth, and what we believe will drive your social presence to be able to create a better outcome for you in your sales walk. So these worlds will be evolving over time as well too. This is just phase one, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, this could be a busy map once we add more things to it as time goes by. But let's jump into the monthly challenges. So inside of the daily micros, we also have this concept of a macro that you'll be working toward every month. This one in particular is to get 10 strategic referrals from existing customers. And then we have micros around this total macro. So as you can see, I've completed 20% of this one particularly. The next step that I need to do from a challenge and target standpoint is that I want to go and look through this person's LinkedIn network, pick 10 people that I want an introduction to, one per existing customer. Okay, well, I did that. I'm going to go here and hit accept and complete. And what I want to point out here is that we live by the honor system as rebels. And so when we walk into this whole concept of the macro for the month, I'm really asking you to please hold yourself accountable to these things and not to cheat yourself on the kind of success that you can build for yourself by doing this stuff. So we ask you, in here, did you complete this content? You say yes. We ask you again, are you sure? You say yes. And then we kind of just troll you at this point and ask you one more time, are you really sure? And you say yes. And then you can finally have your completed challenge. By the way, shout out to my family. That was my wife and my son still in here. So y'all are going to have to deal with it. What's up, dude? Hey, you want to say hi? Say hi. No, he's not interested, y'all. He's walking around like a dinosaur. So again, big picture perspective here is, hey, we want you to do micro and macro challenges that'll help you to get to the sales goals that you desire, but also to help with your personal development and things that we just typically don't pay attention to from a sales perspective. So this is the achievements page. Everything that you can do ties back into achievements. As you can see down here, it's telling me like, hey, Dale, you have an icon for challenges that you finished. What's really cool about this too is that I can come in here and I can see content that I've already watched or viewed. So here are 4 videos that I've already seen. So I can go back and watch them again if I feel like it. And then also here are videos that I haven't seen yet. And also if I've spent a few days where I wasn't in the system, I can come back here and I can watch this content, per missing it, being on vacation or just getting too busy, whatever else. So also there's a leaderboard for all you rebels to be able to compete against each other inside of the community. And that's right. Bob Ross is the #1 rebel inside of the system. So y'all rebels better work hard to beat good old Bob from the grave. He is sitting at somewhere in 1 million points range, I think. Yeah, it looks like it. So way to go, Bob Ross. We love you, man. So real quickly, too, I just want to jump into these other tabs to show you the council sessions, which are very important to me. This is one of the things that I always wish that I had, which was micro learning and things that are very exclusive as well, too. So inside of this first council session, you'll see here, and these are opened one every month. And you'll get inside of them 3 micro teachings, which are 10 minutes a piece. So this is about 30 minutes worth of training. And inside of here, all of these videos are very highly curated. So they're produced to the nines. There's intros, there's music, there's text on screen. It is designed to keep you very attentive and learning to the full capacity that you can while you're hanging out with us. Not to be boring. Again, sales training can be boring. We're trying to eliminate that entirely through the gamification side and also through the way that we present what it is that we're teaching you. This particular council session goes over a lot about mindsets, about your buyers, about the way you act in your territories. They're a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun creating these. And as you can see too, as you unlock councils, they'll be available for you to go in and use. You got 50 days left on this one before it's open, and then the next, and then the next. But here's the fun part, y'all. All those coins that you're earning, so the points are actually converted over into coins. Your points always stay consistent. Your coins can be spent. You guys have heard of the crumpled letter and the letter campaign, maybe the HR resume, the not-so business cards, all the things that we do inside of the Rebellion. Well, you got full access to these things now. So as you can see here, it tells us how many coins we need to be able to order or buy these products. So when we hit buy it now tells us like, hey, cool, you can use your Rebel coins and buy these things. And the best part is that if you don't have enough currency because you're still sitting low in the rankings and leaderboards, you can come in here and spend a few actual dollars to get up to 65,000 Rebel coins. Even better, especially if you're anybody that's currently in the system. A couple people have already done this. Put in an email of somebody that wants to become a member of the Refuge or that you believe would get intrinsic and extrinsic value from being part of this community. Stick their email in, and if they accept to become a member, then you get 65,000 Rebel coins as well too. Here's another great piece of the puzzle is that we actually have our entire base camp, which is our rebellious teachings from roots to reason to the living pipeline, the gem concept, our invasion theory, all these things are in here. And again, through gamification model, through doing activities, through completing challenges, through doing things on the desk, on the dashboard that again provide intrinsic and extrinsic value to you. You get rewarded with coins. You can come in here and purchase courses, and you can be a rebel yourself. That's the Rebel Refuge, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed this fun little tutorial of it. I'm grateful for everybody that's logged in so far and been live with me today. You can scan this QR code right now if you're on a desktop device with your phone and get into the Rebel Refuge. You can also go to app.thesalesrebellion.com. If you're on your phone and you want instant access right now, that's app.thesalesrebellion.com. Jump into the Refuge. Let's have some fun. And before you get into it, I want y'all to remember that we created this whole concept again to provide a better sales existence for yourself. And with that, I want you to, if you haven't ever tasted what the Rebellion does for the people that we do serve currently, I want you to get a taste of that from one of our students themselves. So thanks again for joining. We're super excited about the Rebel Refuge. We hope to see you in there, getting points, gamifying your sales walk, and taking yourself to legendary levels.
Yo, Dale, I know it's after hours, but I just want to say thank you because your boy got 7 appointments today. I've never done that in a single day before. 7 appointments. A lady just told me, I swear, she just told me it's like the skies parted and you appeared. We were just talking about this morning. You couldn't have called at a better time. Let's go, baby!